In this exercise, you were tasked with writing data to an S3 bucket with server-side encryption enabled. You were also asked to verify that the object was encrypted with server-side encryption with the key of your choice. I'll go ahead and walk through how this could be done. In this walkthrough, I'll use the same application server I used for the client-side encryption demo. So I'll log into the application server and create a data file locally. We'll follow the same process. I'll use Systems Manager and Session Manager to log into the instance. So now that I've logged into my application server, I'm going to create a data file locally. I'll call this file mydata_s3ssc.txt. So I'm going to have some arbitrary data in this file. I'm just going to verify the contents of the file. Now I'm going to use the S3 CLI command to write the files to S3. And you're going to notice that I'm going to include flags which will tell S3 to use server-side encryption with KMS. And I'm going to specify a KMS customer master key. I'm going to use the same KMS key that was used in the client-side encryption demo. And this is going to be found in my environment variables file. And before I run the command, I'm going to set my environment variables. I'm going to run the command. As you can see, I've specified the environment variables for the S3 bucket and the KMS customer master key. Looks like I have a typo in my command. I'm just going to verify my environment variable. And looks like that's correct. So it looks like I have an extra slash here. Okay, that looks better. So this time the upload worked. So now let's go into the S3 console and look at the encryption properties for the file that I just uploaded. So remember the file mydata_s3ssc.txt. I'm going to S3 and I'm going to go into the S3 bucket where we uploaded the file. And this is the file that we uploaded, so I'm going to go into the details of that file. And if you look at the properties of this file, we can see that server-side encryption is set to use AWS KMS, and the KMS key ID is the key ID that I had chosen. With this in place, only AWS roles which have permissions to use this KMS key will be able to read the object from S3. Now let's confirm that by revoking permissions for my instance role to use the KMS key. So I'm going to go back to the KMS console, and I'm going to go into my key, and I'm going to remove my instance role from the key users. So these are the key users, and here's my instance role. I'm going to remove it. So now this role no longer has permissions to use this key. Now let's go back to the instance and attempt to read the file from the S3 bucket again. And we're going to try to copy it back from S3 down to my local environment. I'm just going to put it in the local directory. It fails. And this is because the role no longer has permissions to use the key. The S3 service will only be able to decrypt the file if the caller has permissions to use the key. So let's add the role back into the list of authorized users, and then we'll try it again. I'm coming back to my KMS key management page. This is the key that I'm using. I'm going to add that role back. So this is the role that we were using for this instance. It's added back. So now this role has permissions to use the key. I'm going to come back to my terminal and try the command again. This is the command to copy the file down. And this time it worked. So using server-side encryption with KMS customer master keys is a great way to ensure that your data in the cloud is protected and secure.